Howdy folks, Matt here of Gulf Coast Fit, and I'm here to introduce to you a new exercise. It might be new to most of you. It's called an AP swing. AP swing stands for anterior to posterior swing, and I would liken this similar to a kettlebell swing in nature. Also similar, I would say it's like the cousin of a thruster in terms of the physical exertion and the benefits as far as power output and a bit of conditioning can go. So thrusters or kettlebell swings, as you might be aware, are great tools to get your heart rate up, to also work multiple muscle groups, really their full body endeavors. And an AP swing takes things a bit further because it is a little bit more technical, a little bit more skill based, and because of that, when you are executing AP swings, you want to make sure that your primary objective is to learn a new skill, to develop the body awareness to do this movement in a fluid and safe manner. And then you can focus on ramping things up if you're trying to do it for conditioning, if you're trying to do it for power output, both of which are fine objectives as long as you get your foundation under you first. So I'm using a paddle today, hand-carved paddle from a man, Juan, here in Santiago. And this paddle weighs about 15 pounds. It's drying out, it did weigh about 20 pounds. Speaking of, you might notice I'm working out in my cowboy boots today. These are my brand new handmade cowboy boots from Pastores, Guatemala. And the lovely Andrea bought these as an early birthday present. Best birthday present I could ever have. And these are sopping wet right now. I'm sloshing around in some wet socks, breaking them in. So I figured I may as well work out in them. So I've got a dried out paddle and a drying out pair of boots. Anyway, back to the program. If you don't have a hand-carved indigenous paddle to use, you could use some more common things like a mace, a long piece of PVC pipe, a walking stick, some type of a long piece of wood, something you can hold on to, get your mitts around. Big pieces of bamboo work well. You could even use something like a training bar, you know, the 15 or 10 pound aluminum training bars you might have in a gym. Anything that's like a long bow staff or dowel will work. Maces would be the easiest and most usable route to go. And as far as my implement here goes, this works very similar to a mace in nature. So an AP swing, the tricky part about an AP swing is that unlike a kettlebell swing or a thruster, kettlebell swing is predominantly focused on the posterior chain, great exercise. Thrusters are predominantly focused on the anterior chain, quadriceps, pressing muscles. This combines, as the name implies, anterior to posterior movement. So an AP swing, here's what we do. I'll give you a little profile view here. I'm gonna do this in slow motion and break it down bit by bit. AP swing, we reach behind you, we open up the anterior, and then we bring it into a squat. Now when the weight is in front of you, you're focusing on the posterior. Because to hold this up, I'm really engaging the entire back to lift, not letting this round my spine, not letting my spine flex. And when I open up and reach behind me, I'm engaging my glutes to protect my lower back. And the weight of this and the leverage of the implement behind you, which is why you want to have something long and skinny like a mace or a staff, I'm really feeling it open up in the front. Come into a squat, brace the posterior, open up, playing limbo a little bit, bracing the anterior. Now, these actually are a little bit more dynamic. Switch my grip for you. So, I'll turn it into a bit more of a swing. Oh. And you'll see the swing occurs, the stretch reflex occurs when the weight is behind me. Whereas in a kettlebell swing, the stretch reflex occurs when the weight is swinging through your legs and is in front of you. Now, I could try to bend back more, and a lot of you who are much more mobile than me could play limbo and go a lot further. Not that you want to. You want to open up, allow your hips to shift forward so you can feel as much of a stretch and an opening effect as possible in the hip flexors, the abdominals, the obliques and serratus, and even the triceps, lats, and rear delts. So for those of you in the tight shoulder club like me, who, you know, from all the dips, the bench pressing, the push-ups in my life, Anterior delts are very tight from all the paddling also. This is a great thoracic opener, a lat lengthener, and hip flexor opener as well. I would say that's my primary benefit and goal out of these. I'll turn this, I'll add another step here, making it a little bit more of a swing from front to back, back to front. You see now I'm allowing my weight to come in between my legs, and you'll notice how I stop right when my implement is horizontal. That really challenges your grip strength, and you have a bit of an isometric component down here at the bottom. And you'll notice I control the swing, pause and control. You want to inhale, exhale. Open up and inhale, close it and exhale. Now I'm still warming up, so I'm taking it a bit further each time. I feel a great stretch in the lats, similar to if you were doing your yoga practice and you were doing like a puppy dog, or even a mini back bend laying over a towel or a bolster. I'm going to switch my grip. I'm going to crank things up a notch, and I'll show you how. Start up here. A little more dynamic with it. And if I scoot my grip down a little bit, you may have saw me go down a fist. It gets exponentially harder in both directions. Switch my grip. And even a few inches, oh yeah, makes this much more challenging at both ends of the spectrum. If I scoot my grip back one more, I wouldn't be able to execute these safely. So to make it easier, you start a little higher, choke your grip up. It's a little less impact and stress on the joints in both ends of the spectrum. The more you scoot your hands down, the more leverage or the less leverage you have, and the more of a pull you feel on your anterior chain and your posterior chain. So a few ways that you can implement this into a workout. First, you could use this as an EMOM every minute on the minute. Do 5 to 10 reps, and you can either add reps per minute or add minutes. I'd say up to 10 minutes and up to 10 repetitions per minute. Remember, skill first, then implement things for conditioning. Another way that you could implement these AP swings would be sheer accumulation of volume. Week 1, do 10 reps. See how your shoulders feel, see how your back feels, your hips. Week 2, add 5 reps, 15. And then if you were to do a volume accumulation and you just had a set goal, you rest as much as you need to between your bouts of exercise, unlike an EMOM where it's go time every minute on the minute. So you might start at 10 reps, add 5 reps the next week. You can go all the way up to anywhere from 50 to 100 repetitions. You're your own best judge on how well you're executing these and how much benefit you're getting out of it. So be aware of your objective initially. When you're trying these out, let the weight come behind you. See how that feels on your shoulders. Let your hips go forward. See how that feels on your hip flexors. Make sure you're engaging your lower back to protect your glutes to protect your lower back. And then bring it in front of you. Make sure that you can control this at the bottom. If it goes clanking to the ground, then you need to choke up higher with your grip. Also, I'm anal about being even on each side of everything, so switch your grip, throughout your workout. So I'll give you a set of 10 here. The first 5, I'll show you, flip around for you. First 5, I'll show you option A, and that's where I do squat, holding the paddle vertically. And now I'll show you variation B, where we take it a step further. Switch my grip. All right, now, since this does engage the anterior and posterior chain on every single repetition, I do find this to be both more challenging mentally and physically than something like a thruster or a kettlebell swing or a swing of any type, both of which focus on the anterior or the posterior. So give the AP swings a go. Anything that's long and you can hold on to will fit the bill, and have some fun with it. Thank you.